I
Heck
wonder
yeah.
if he took that seriously and wrote them down, or what.
He starts second. Then Tim does.
Vin does, yeah.
Yeah, Death Bunny's got the ball.
Oh, wow. And Robbie Racing is in here.
He's in a 4
Send
car.
me invites, Kevin.
There's a 4 car. There's 2 4 cars. Wait.
Land
Don't
Shark starts 6.
Did you already back out?
No, why?
Send me another one. I don't want to start in the middle of the back here either.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna say I lost you.
Road course racing's not my thing.
Oh, I lost 2 people.
I don't know who the other one was that backed out. Is Robbie Racing still at the bottom?
He's not.
He's probably the one that backed out.
He is, yeah. Shitty. I invited him back. If he wants to join, he can. But alright, so you're in again. Alright,
Yep.
I'm just waiting another few seconds to see if he jumps in. And I guess he'd jump in regardless. Alright, so I'm unpausing and I'm backing out. Who's the hook?
Land Shark? Oh crap.
What?
Robbie was trying to get back in. He backed out because he didn't know the number.
Oh crap. He should have just taken the 4 still. Shitty. If he gets in time, that's awesome. But if not, then we'll have to organize it with him. Because I invited him to this series, but he told me he was busy. That's the only reason why we don't have him in a car. Can I join, by the way?
Oh yeah, sorry, timer just expired.
No worries. Yeah, that's the only reason why we don't have him in something. "24 of yous." Did he jump back in?
No, he said he missed it. He got back in the lobby, but
He
he
is
missed it.
in.
Yeah, he missed the race though.
Oh.
Have a good day. Stay sharp. Be ready. Ready. All clear.
Sorry, Dave. I know you were trying to get out the way.
You'll probably get around the 4, Dave. Crazy legs. On my way in.
Nobody at all went off track in turn 1.
Oh, nice.
It's almost hard to even believe that just happened.
Welcome to Nosscar. We surprise everyone. Good and bad sometimes.
Still there. All clear. No pressure from behind. Still there. All clear.
Oh, Steve-O in the wall hard.
Still there. Look ahead for me. Clear outside.
Starting the broadcast. broadcast has begun. Welcome to the main event for Motormaster Monday, live here on NASCAR Heat 5. It is round 15 of the 2021 NASCAR Motormaster Series season, coming to you from Mid Ohio, folks. That's right, the Mid Ohio Sports Course, hosting the Sport Course 170 and 24 NASCAR Motormaster Series drivers out there rocking and rolling around this racetrack. Very tricky, challenging racetrack, road course racing here, rights and lefts all day long. Reminds me quite a bit of Sonoma. These drivers really playing with the throttle, making sure they don't spin those tires when they get back to the gas and accelerate down these short straightaways. And very tight and very narrow, very technical. And some would argue that stock cars don't really belong on the Mid-Ohio Sport Course, and that's what makes it so exciting, folks. 24 drivers on the racetrack. Dustin Franklin in the 11 on the pole for this race in the 11. Chevy Camaro, they're all chasing the number 9 car, a Intimidator. Finished in the top 5 for the qualify round for the Indy Roval event just recently, and one of the very, very best to ever play the NASCAR Heat games. He's leading right now. I'm NASCAR CEO Tyler McMurder, alongside the Giggity Racing League CEO Kevin Tattersall. Excuse me, the founder, rather, given up the CEO title since then. Kevin, you started at the tail of the field for Mid-Ohio. You started also at the tail of the field for the race earlier tonight in Michigan, and you parked it in Victory Lane for that one. Is that the plan for Mid-Ohio, or
I mean,
how do you think you're going to fare today?
That's always the plan, but I don't think that's going to be a reality here at Mid-Ohio. If that does happen, I'm going to strongly say the rest of the field made a mistake.
Fair enough. You gotta love the honesty, you gotta love the charisma from the Iceman, Kevin Tattersall. And working his way forward slowly, that's for sure. And how about this, folks? Landshark started in the 6th position in that number 36 Chevy Camaro, driving for Timac Motorsports. He runs in 2nd. He races full-time in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series, just recently signed a deal with them to run full-time in that series on Tuesdays. Now he's rocking and rolling here, making his debut in the Motormaster Series, running in 2nd in Stage 1. In 3rd is the pole sitter, and that's Dustin Franklin in the 11. There you see him, being followed closely by Jordan Dorsek in the 74. He's the driver running in 4th. Running in 5th is Jesse Carlson, driver of the number 20 Toyota Supra. There we see him. It's Matt Smith running in 6th in the number 10 Chevy Camaro, and running in 7th is Cameron Norton, driver of the 1. They're all chasing the Intimidator, folks. Driving the number 9 Chevy Camaro. And coming in, making his first start here in the 2021 NASCAR Motormaster Series season. He has wins here in the NASCAR Motormaster Series. He also has 3 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series wins, which all came on road courses, and all of which were back in the 2020 season on NASCAR Heat 4. Looking strong early in the going and showing his stuff. You see him working through turn 1 there. Down the long straightaway, and there's a little bit of elevation, a little bit of bump on that straightaway, a lot of the drivers will tell you, and then you got to come into this right-hander, settle in, and it goes downhill a little bit, so it's very easy to overdrive it, get back to the throttle a little too soon, and put it over in that sand trap. And of course, as you see, he does not do that. Smooth as silk, as Intimidator would do it on a road course. Keep our eye on him all race long. Jordan Dorsek comes into this race with 3 wins. In the top 5 in the point standings, locked into the playoffs, running in 4th right now. And you see clashing in the 07 on pit road. Looks like Kevin Tattersall on the 54 on pit road as well. And these drivers are able to pit before the end of stage 1 as long as there's not under 2 laps to go. And we're going to throw it down to the in-race reporter, Kevin Tattersall. Kevin, how many to go in stage 1?
There's still 5 to go, but everybody's going to have to pit. They don't have enough fuel to make a stand unless they're out there saving.
Okay. And Clashin had to come in to repair damage. We're getting a report, actually. And Cameron Norton in the 1 car has spun. He was in the 7th position when that happened. He's going to give up the position to Josh Cole-Diaz in the 7. And it doesn't look like there's actually any damage to that car. So he escaped. He's pretty lucky in that scenario. And he's still rolling here in Mid Ohio. Alex Tesdall in the 16 sneaking in. He's in the top 10. Again, folks, 24 cars out there on the racetrack for this Sport Course 170 here in Mid Ohio, and they're all facing the Intimidator.
Careful, still there.
Important to note now, Jesse Carlson has worked his way around Jordan Dorsett for the 4th position. There he is, Jesse Carlson. He won the race earlier this season at Sonoma. Very much a road course ace. And we have a change for the race lead, actually, folks. I didn't see what happened to Intimidator, but he has lost the race lead to Landshark. There you see him in the 9. There's no damage to that car, but he's now no longer out front. And it's Landshark in the 36, making his debut in the Nosscar Motormaster Series, leading laps. And I'll tell you, folks, it would be something if this kid could come in here and compete and maybe even beat a driver of Intimidator's caliber. Coming around now back to the start-finish line to complete another lap here in Mid Ohio. And if I'm correct, I believe that there are 4 laps to go here in stage 1.
I think that's 3.
3 laps to go in stage 1. I'm not often correct on the lap count. Landshark driving the throwback paint job for that number 36 car, making it look real good. That car normally driven by Alex Labbe in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and leading laps here in Mid Ohio. And I really wish I saw what happened to Intimidator, folks, because it's not like him to make a mistake here on these road courses, especially early in the race when he's got such a commanding lead and when he doesn't need to push as hard as he normally has to. Yeah, so I'm a little bit shocked, folks, but now he runs in 2nd. He's still right there in the thick of things. The pole sitter, Dustin Franklin, in the 11 car, normally driven by Justin Haley in the Xfinity Series. He's running in 3rd. And Jordan Dorsett was right there with them in the 4th position, but he's now slipped off the racetrack. There's damage to that machine. He's gathered it back up and he's back on the racetrack, but the problem is with this, at the end of stage 1, he's going to need to take time to repair that front-end damage. Jesse Carlson and Matt Smith have actually both worked their way around Dustin Franklin and Jordan Dorsett, so this is actually the battle for 5th and 6th. And they're both going to go to pit road. And they made it in time before the leader took the 2 laps to go. I just went back to the leaders and they had not reached the line yet, but now the leaders have. So the road is indeed closed. Anybody else who does come to pit road would get the penalty unless they came to pit road again at the end of stage 1. There you see all the cars obeying the rule. They stay on the racetrack. There's Trey Hollywood in the 44. Gordon Roughton in the 92, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61, Jason Armstrong in the 12. There's Brett Baker in the 21 rather. Stephen Corley in the 22 with a little bit of front-end damage. He's still soldiering on in this race.
I need 2 more spots.
I have the 20 with the leader.
You got room.
Oh, you do you? Oh, wow, folks. Yes, I do too. And a lot has changed, and I didn't see exactly what happened, but man, that's what happens when I go through the field. I was listing off the drivers that were on camera. Jesse Carlson in the 20 has taken the race lead. For Juicy J Motorsports, the Bruv Motorsports car of Matt Smith in the 10, the 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion. He runs in 2nd, and the white flag is in the air here in stage 1. Landshark in the 36, back to 3rd. The Intimidator in the 9 runs in 4th, and that battle for 5th and 6th is still heated up there between Jordan Dorsett and Dustin Franklin. Four different teams in the top 4 here, and They're all visible to the leader. They're all relatively close to pounce if Jesse were to go off the racetrack and make some sort of mistake here. Jesse won the race at Sonoma. He's very familiar with these Xfinity cars, these Motormaster cars, and on these road courses especially. They just put a lap on the 4 machine. That's Robert Lohman Sr., and they're coming up to the back bumper of Dave Marks Jr. in the 51. Some of these drivers hoping to be the first car 1 lap down at the end of stage 1. And coming into the final couple of corners now, Dave, wisely like the veteran driver he is, moves a little bit further out of the way, and he's going to let the leader go by, knowing that he's just going to simply get the free pass and be back on the lead lap anyways. Jesse Carlson wins stage 1 of the Sport Course 170. We can tell you Matt Smith finished in second, but we're going to throw it down to the in-race reporter Kevin Tattersall to find out the rest of the top 5.
I'm still finishing my lap.
Oh, okay, yep. Solid drive for Jesse Carlson in the 20. UCJ Motorsports well represented in this race.
Alright, top 5 were NASCAR, Oof, Flash 9, Ben Tim, Landshark, and Mucka.
How about that? Jason Doro in the 08 Chevy Camaro sneaking into the 5th position for stage 1 to get a stage point there. We haven't really spoken about him much since the drop of the green flag. Always a contender in these races and still very much alive in this one. There you see him in the black and white Chevy Camaro. These drivers will have an opportunity now to pit for the first time in this race, unless you're Dustin Franklin, and there was one other car at the pit as well, just barely in time before the end of that stage. And yeah, other than those 2 drivers, these drivers will pit for the first time in this race, make some adjustments, and see how they look for the restart. Stage 2 coming up. Jordan Dorsett and Jesse Carlson on the front row for the restart. Can Intimidator get back up there? Can Landshark get back up there? Let's find out. The green flag is back in the air in Mid Ohio.
Still there.
2 by 2 down the first front straightaway of the road course, coming into the right-hander. It's a little bit of a downhill elevation turn as well, so these drivers need to be really careful. Play with the throttle and baby it back to the throttle so they don't spin the tires, and now down the second straightaway of the road course. Still for the most part 2 by 2, but it's Jordan Dorsett that has taken the race lead, clashing in the 07 car. Now up there in second. Jesse Carlson goes way wide there. Intimidator in the 9 draws alongside him. He's got Landshark in the 36 coming with him for the 4th position. Put Intimidator up to 3rd. And the chase in Jordan Dorsett, 3 wins this season. Top 5 in the point standings. By far a lock into the playoffs, and at this point just trying to add to the playoff point total. He leads, and he's got his good buddy flashing in the 07 Chevy Camaro just behind him. They race in the same league outside of NOSCAR, and Clashing only making his 2nd start of the 2021 NOSCAR Motormaster Series season. He's made starts in NOSCAR before, but it's been quite some time, and now Intimidator in the 9 is going to drive around him for P2. Looks like Landshark in the 36 just worked his way around Jesse Carlson in the 20 car for the 4th position, and now he's going to try to come up there and challenge Clash in 09 for that 3rd position. Matt Smith in the 10 coming with him. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 7 car runs in 7th. Bradley Gill into the 90 finds himself in 8th. That's the highest he's run all race. How about Clashing? Led a lot of laps in the race earlier tonight in Michigan. That was his debut in the NOSCAR Motormaster Series, and he's up there running 2nd here at Mid Ohio. Every now and then, Intimidator goes up there and challenges for the lead, but then he gets a little bit loose trying to keep it. And it's a side-by-side battle for the 3rd, 4th positions between Landshark and Intimidator. They bounced off each other just a little bit.
All clear, no pressure from behind.
And this is allowing Jordan Dorsett and the 07 of Clashin to get away a little bit, or is it? It looked like Clashin had a little bit of a tough time getting through those last couple of tight turns, and he's getting challenged again by the Intimidator. Top 7 have spaced themselves out from the rest of the field just a little bit, and then the battle for 8th on back looks like this. Bradley Gill into the 90, holding on to it. Alex Tesdahl in the 16, coming up to challenge him for it. Brett Baker behind them in the 21. Battles all over this racetrack at Mid Ohio. Jason Armstrong, Jordan Roughton, Cameron Norton, all just barely outside of the top 10, as is Harold Burton and Trey Hollywood. And back up to the front. That's what the battle for the lead looks like. Gordon Dorsek slowly getting away. Clashin's got second. Intimidator's got third. A little bit of breathing room for all of them now as they go into this tight braking zone at the end of this long straightaway. And a lot of these drivers are very prone to missing the braking point and the shift point for that turn. It's a very tough corner. The Intimidator is going to use the outside line through this right-hander to take the second position away from Clashin. What a move that was, and moves him into second, and now he can set his sights on the race leader Jordan Dorosek in the 74, Landshark in the 36, trying to pounce and take third. Sonoma winner Jesse Carlson runs in 5th in the 20 for Juicy J Motorsports. Matt Smith, the 2020 Platinum Cup Series champion, behind him. Landshark went off course on the front straightaway at the start-finish line area. He loses the 4th position to Jesse Carlson. He's going to lose 5th to Matt Smith as well. You see them there, still side-by-side for the 5th position. And this track is so challenging. There's so many narrow sections and tight braking zones, and gotta really be careful getting back to the gas so you don't spin the tires. And just a challenging track, a lot of elevation change as well, and it's tough going into these corners side by side sometimes. Easy to lock them up and find a gravel trap. And a little bit deeper in the field, here's the battle for 8th. It's Alex Tesdahl in the 16, 2 wins this season, both of them on ovals. Coming up Bristol and Dover. And he's going to take the 8th position from Bradley Gilliland. Running in the 10th position behind them a little bit is Brett Baker in the 21. There you see him. 1 win this season for him. It was his first career Nosscar Motormaster Series win. They got Cameron Norton running in 11th, Jason Armstrong running in 12th. And the battle for the lead is on. This is in turn 1. Gordon Dorosek is under fire from the Intimidator. We can also let you know Jesse Carlson has worked his way into 3rd around Clashin. Through the right-hander now, turn 2. The Intimidator trying to use that draft a little bit. He's tucked right on the bumper. This long straightaway, there is a bit of draft once these cars come up to speed. And he pulls out of line to the inside into this heavy braking zone, and the Intimidator is going to take the lead in the number 9 car. Second time in this race he's led laps, and we'll have to see if he can hold on to it. Jordan Dorosek falls in line just behind him in second. This allowed Jesse Carlson in the 20, the stage 1 winner, to get a little bit closer in 3rd. Brett Baker loses the 10th position to Cameron Norton in the 1. And when slowly but surely trying to work his way back towards the front. He qualified 5th for this race, and best qualifying effort he's had in a little while on a road course. And to finish where he started. So the battle for the lead has kind of settled down just a little bit. Intimidator putting a few more car lengths on Jordan Dorosek, and the battle for 3rd and 4th looks like this. Jesse Carlson in the 20, Matt Smith in the 10, UCJ Motorsports, Bruv Motorsports. This is all about a 2 seconds behind your race leader, and it's Land Shark running in the 5th position. Josh Colombier is in the 7th, has taken the 6th position away from Flash. Flash back to the 7th spot, and Land Shark locks up the brakes going into that corner, and he's going to miss the turn just a little bit.
All clear, no pressure.
He's going to give up 2 positions in the process. He falls back to the 7th position. Still a terrific day for the young driver. Recently just signed a full-time deal to run the Nosscar Tailgate Truck Series on Tuesdays, and running a part-time partial schedule here for the Nosscar Motormaster Series, working on finalizing a full-time deal here as well, and burning a lot of eyes every time he gets into one of these Nosscar rides. And Josh Colombier is in the 7 car with a track penalty. Looked like he got a little bit loose going into one of those turns down there, and it actually forced him to cut the corner a little bit. There you see him. He's now dropped back to the 7th position. Alex Hesdahl next in line in 8th to challenge him for position, and tough to field. And that's the problem with this road course. You can lock up the brakes. You can get a little bit loose. You out of shape getting into these turns, and before you know it, your car gets thrown to the left or the right, and you've cut the track. And all of a sudden your car comes to a dead stop on its own. Automatically it'll do this, and it'll hold you there for about 5 seconds. Throwing it down to the in-race reporter, Kevin Tattersall. Kevin, how many laps to go in stage 2?
I'm going to say 4, maybe the leader's coming to 3 this time. I'll let you know. I'm almost at the start.
All right, you're clear.
All right, thank you.
Clear all around.
You got cars on pit road getting service as well.
Okay, so there's 3, so the leader will be coming to 2.
Excellent, excellent.
Clear all around.
And Jordan Dorset has retaken the race lead from Vintimidator. There they come through the final couple of corners, and Vintimidator is coming to pit road. So is Jordan Dorset in the 74. They're going to give up the stage win to get the track position for that final stage. Jesse Carlson stays on the racetrack to take the 2 laps to go signal. Land Shark made it to pit road just barely in time before the leaders took the 2 laps to go signal. And pit road is closed.
So, I don't know if it came into play there in their pit road strategy, but everybody was actually 1 lap short of making it on fuel when you started. So, the 20 car must have saved the 1 lap fuel.
Oh, great point. Thank you very much, in-race reporter Kevin Tattersall. Something we would have never picked up on. So evidently these cars were 1 lap short on fuel for this stage, and some of these drivers may have been able to stay out the length of the stage and save the fuel, or perhaps and get it close enough to where it'll sputter when they're coming to the start-finish line. And time will tell. Jesse Carlson's the race leader. Matt Smith in the 10 just went flying off the racetrack, and he's gathered it back up. He's back on the racetrack. He runs in 2nd. Those 2 cars were the top 2 amongst the front runners to not come down pit road. And they're staying out again, so they're sticking by their guns here, and the white flag is in the air for stage 2.
Land Shark must have damage or penalty, because he just came out just right in front of me. It's actually 17th place.
Oh man, and that's a tough deal for Land Shark. But I do believe that he'll stay out and get the track position back for the start of the final stage. Time will tell what happens there with that. It's been an exciting race. 24 cars started the event, and we only have 1 car pulled off the racetrack and done for the day, and that's Jordan Roughton in the 92. So 23 Nosscar Motormaster Series drivers are still out there rocking and rolling here for the Sport Course 170 in Mid Ohio, and round 15 of the 2021 Nosscar Motormaster Series season, hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. All chasing Jesse Carlson in the 20 Toyota Supra, driving for UCJ Motorsports. He won stage 1, and looking real good for winning stage 2 here. Less than a half a lap for him to go. Coming up into the final 3 turns now. He's going to have the freshest tires, and he's going to be in front of all the cars that have the fresh tires for the beginning of the final stage. Jesse Carlson wins stage 2. Matt Smith will get second, and like I was saying there, he's going to have the freshest tires, and he'll be at the front of all the cars with the freshest tires for the final stage. They're going to have, I think they're going to have 3 or 4 cars restart in front of them that were successfully able to get down pit road before the leader took the 2 lap to go signal, and I believe that's going to be the Intimidator, Jordan Dorosek, and Land Shark. We're going to throw it down to the race reporter Kevin Tattersall to get the top 5 from stage 2.
NASCAR Flash 9, Chai Cubs, Trips, NASCAR King, and Ventim.
NASCAR King. So Josh Colm-Diaz 4th. 2 stage points for him. Not necessarily known for his road course success, but he's rocking and rolling today here at Mid Ohio. And how about Bradley Gilliland? He won the pole for the Michigan race earlier tonight. Didn't get the finish he was hoping for, but here he is getting 3rd in stage 2 at Mid Ohio, and let's see if he can parlay that into a solid finish here at the end of the race. Started the season strong, Bradley did in the 90, and was up there as the points leader, in fact, after the first 3 races, and he had stage points in the first 6 stages of the season, and since then he's kind of fallen a little bit. He would love to get a top 5, maybe the win even today, to catapult himself back into the picture. And the green flag has been shown, folks. Final stage time here at Mid Ohio.
Careful, still there.
Hold on tight. Make sure the seat belts are locked.
And Landshark pitted. He's back here in 14th place.
Wow, and that's definitely not the strategy I thought he was going for. And off course goes Bradley Gilliland in the 90, and he's going to lose a number of positions from that. He goes outside the top 10. And it's Clash in the 07 leading with Jesse Carlson side by side with Jordan Dorosek for second. And here comes an Intimidator. Oh, Dorosek, he overdrove that corner a little bit. He now drops from second to 4th. Matt Smith in the 10 had to lift a little bit from Jordan getting back into the groove, and they're now single file, and Clash has the lead in the 07. They're all trying to run him down, and these drivers are going to need to make one pit stop here in the final stage. And Clash in the 07 just got really out of shape right in front of Intimidator and Jordan Dorosek. Land Shark has worked his way back into the 10th position just behind Bradley Gilliland in the 90. We'll keep our eye on him. Everyone's chasing Jesse Carlson in the 20. Ooh, and teammates were bouncing off each other in the final turn there. Cameron Norton in the 1, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 7. They're battling for 6th and 7th with Alex Tesdall right behind them. So it's Jesse Carlson, Clash, the Intimidator, Matt Smith. That's your top 4. Coming out the top 5, Jordan Dorosek, Cameron Norton, Alex Tesdall, 6th and 7th, Bradley Gilliland, 8th, Josh Colm-Diaz, 9th, Land Shark rounding out the top 10. 23 cars still on the racetrack, 24 drivers started this race. Round 15 of the 2021 season. Running hot laps here in Mid Ohio, and for the most part, the front runners have all got a little bit more single file, and it's settled down just a little bit. Now Land Shark works his way around Bradley Gilliland. That was for the 9th position. And I love road course racing. And look at this hornet's nest back here. Trey Hollywood in the 44. Jason Doro in the 08, Jason Armstrong in the 12, Brett Baker in the 21, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61, Kevin Tattersall in the 54, Dustin Franklin in the 11. They're all right here battling hard for position outside the top 10. Stiff competition all throughout the field here in this one. Drivers you normally see up there competing for the wins are outside the top 10, just barely inside the top 10. Talent spread all throughout this field here for this Nosscar Motormaster Series race at Mid Ohio, and they're all chasing Jesse Carlson in the 20. There you see him. The lead has not really changed too much. Clash in the 07 still only about 4 car lengths away from the back bumper of the Toyota Supra. Intimidator third, Matt Smith fourth, Jordan Dorsek fifth. They've begun to spread out from the rest of the field just a little bit. There's about a 7 or 8 car line. And now it's dropped down to 5 of them, folks. And it's going to be all about who can take care of their tires, take care of their car, and maintain a good speed throughout this final stage. And it's also going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes, folks. I think that the driver amongst these top 5 right here that makes the least amount of mistakes is probably going to park that car in victory lane. Throwing it down to the in-race reporter, Kevin Tattersall. Kevin, when you hit the line, how many laps to go in the final stage?
We have 13 laps remaining.
All right. And we got a side-by-side battle for the lead here as well. This is turn 2. And now going down the second straightaway of the racetrack, and 13 laps to go. The urgency picking up a little bit. And Clash in the 07 Chevy Camaro challenging for the lead. And there might even be a problem for Jesse Carlson in the 20. It almost looked like he lifted a little bit extra to let the Intimidator in the 9 get around him. Could a tire be going down on Jesse Carlson's car? You see him, he's right there with them still in third. I really don't know exactly what the issue might be. Maybe trying to conserve a little bit of fuel and tires and make it on one less pit stop. I'm not too sure what the strategy in mind is for Jesse Carlson in the 20, but he's lost the lead, he's lost second, he's back to third. Just in front of the 2020 Nosscar Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith. Keep our eye on that. A little bit deeper in the field. Brett Baker in the 21, just in front of Kevin Tattersall. Kevin, what position are you in?
17th.
You got room.
So there are great battles literally all over the racetrack. You got Jeffrey Robinson Jr. behind you in 18th, Brett Baker right in front of you in 16th. What are these cars feeling like out there? What's the biggest challenge been for you so far?
Honestly, the biggest challenge is just this tight racing. Not much room on the track. And then, of course, you know, you got so many people so close together. I'm trying not to get into anybody, you know. And that's actually proven to be more challenging than the course itself.
Yeah, I believe you. Looks challenging out there. Looks like a lot of fun, too. Cameron Norton just got a little bit loose there. He's going to lose position to Josh Colombiez in the process. Landshark in the 36 has been able to work his way by both of those drivers. Jordan Dorsek in the 74 off course. Able to find a good. There he is. He's running in 5th, and he's got it going again, but he's lost touch with the top 4. And the group up front is beginning to thin out just a little bit. Some of the drivers that are in this lead pack beginning to slowly make mistakes once in a while and throw a wrench into their odds of winning today's event at Mid Ohio. And back up front, this is what the battle for the lead looks like. The Intimidator in the 9 has retaken the top spot. He was able to work his way around Clash in the 07 just a little bit ago. Now Clash has actually dropped back to the 4th position. How about this? The Intimidator in the 9, Jesse Carlson in the 20. 2 road course aces going at it here for the win. Road course ringers at Mid Ohio are making their presence felt. Pardon me. And bringing down good lap times too. 12 laps to go. And we can expect all of these drivers on pit road at least once here in the final stage. I believe that it's going to be 1 to 2 pit stops. I'm leaning more towards 1. And it's not going to open the door too much in the way of pit strategy. So for the most part, I feel like these drivers got what they got. They basically need to wait until that that fuel window for their strategy is open, and then they need to peel down pit road and just take the usual, folks. I don't think there's going to be any major swings at these cars this late in the race. Jesse Carlson was all the way down with his right sides in the grass a little bit there through those final couple of corners, trying to get every advantage that he can to try to work his way around Intimidator in the 9. Intimidator, one of the very best drivers to ever race on the NASCAR Heat Games. You see his names all over the all-time charts for every track anytime you check out those stats leaderboards, and finished 5th in the qualify round for the Indy Roval for the Winter Heat Series just recently.
10 to go.
One of the faster cars in that event, of course, 400 plus participants. I myself participated and finished 21st in the A class. Saw him a couple of times, and I had nothing for the Intimidator of the Indy Roval there. And he's doing a great job here in Mid Ohio, holding off the young Jesse Carlson in the 20. It's amazing, actually, because Jesse started deeper in the field, outside the top 10, actually, and he's worked his way all the way up here. He won Stage 1, he won Stage 2, and he's battling with one of the best in the world here on the NASCAR Heat Games for the Sport Course 170 victory in Intimidator, and they're coming around now to 9 laps to go when they hit the start-finish line. 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion Matt Smith runs in 3rd in the 10. And not too far behind these two either. If one of these two were to have a problem, Matt Smith is plenty close enough to capitalize. Look at this action here, folks. Kevin Tattersall trying to work his way around Alex Hesdall in the 16. Trey Hollywood in the 44 just in front of him, and Jason Doro knocking on the back bumper of Kevin Tattersall every now and then. Action all over this racetrack. Last time we checked in, Brett Baker and Jason Armstrong both were in front of Kevin, and since then he's worked his way around those cars, slowly working his way forward. Oh, contact was made there a little bit.
I lifted and let him go. He'd been shortcutting that corner, and then that time he took a little wide, and when I shortcutted, I got into him. I actually locked the brakes a little bit that time. I lifted and let him get the spot back
at its finest, man. Checking in on Land Shark, running in the 6th position. He's kind of on his own, actually. He's not really gaining ground on the top 5, not losing ground and getting caught by the drivers behind him either. This is his debut race in the Nosscar Motormaster Series. He's run 2 Nosscar Tailgate Truck Series races with us so far. He finished 6th in his debut there, finished 12th in his 2nd race, and should have arguably finished in the top 5 for that one. Just got caught up in a couple of incidents late that were not of his doing. Doing a terrific job here at Mid Ohio, trying to finalize a full-time deal in the Motormaster Series. Matt Smith in the 10 is on pit road. Jordan Dorsek in the 74. Intimidator in the 9. All on pit road getting service.
Get low on gas.
Here come more cars here. Pit road beginning to become a busy place. Bradley Gilliland in the 90, Trey Hollywood in the 44, Kevin Tattersall in the 54, Dustin Franklin in the 11. Alex Tesdall in the 16 there as well. There's Robert Lohman Sr. in the 4 coming to pit road. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61. There's only a couple of cars that have not been to pit road yet for their scheduled pit stop in the final stage.
We're within the fuel window, though. If you pit from here on out, you can make it to the end, so I'm not sure why people are... so expect to see people coming to pit road here soon.
All right, then. Fuel window is open. I believe that there's 8 laps to go for the leader. And if they pit now, they can make it the entire distance from here. And so we do expect anyone who's not been to pit road yet to come on down eventually for service. There comes Jesse Carlson in the 20 Toyota Supra for Juicy J Motorsports. He surrenders the race lead. He stayed out one extra lap instead of coming in when Vintimidator and Jordan Dorosek and Dustin Franklin and those drivers did. And we're going to have to see exactly where he is on the track and in relation to those drivers when he comes out of pit road. There he goes. He's also going to have the one lap fresher tires than Vintimidator in the 9, and that might come in handy as the run goes along. And there you see it, folks. Jesse Carlson comes out in front of Vintimidator just barely after the pit stops, and he's going to be the new race leader when all of this cycles through. Vintimidator uses the bumper a little bit and then the door a little bit, and they're side by side for the lead going down the second straightaway. Intimidator's got the preferred line going into this corner. Jesse, the young kid that he is, still smart enough to know that. He lifts and gets back in line, tries to diamond these couple of corners to get the better run out of them to get a run on Vintimidator, and it's working. Every now and then he's pulling the nose of that Supra to the inside of the 9 Camaro of Vintimidator, but he's not able to keep it there. He's going to fall in line for now into second. They go around the spinning Robert Lohman Sr. in the 4. Coming up on another car, and that's Dave Marks Jr. in the 51. And the veteran and the rookie going at it for the win here at Mid Ohio, and I believe that they've only got 6 laps to go. Could be 5, knowing me.
I'll let you know when I get to the line.
Thanks, brother. I'll need it. I always miss 1 or 2.
You got room. You're clear.
And we can tell you that it's Clash running in the 3rd position there in the 07 Chevy Camaro. Matt Smith in the 10 runs in 4.
So the leader will be coming to 5 to go this time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Quite a bit of separation now between a lot of the drivers running towards the front, and that's kind of what we expected here in the final stage. It was going to be a battle of who made the fewest mistakes, I thought. And going into the final couple of corners, Jesse Carlson uses the chrome horn, tries to get to the inside of Intimidator, couldn't quite do it, and 5 laps to go. I think that Jesse Carlson is the quicker of the 2, and I think that that's why he's been able to keep this amazing pressure on him that he has, and that's what's been the most surprising to me. Intimidator, like I said, one of the very, very best to ever play the NASCAR Heat Games, finished 5th in the qualify round for the Winter Heat Series at the Indy Roval just recently. And Jesse Carlson with the power move to the inside, and he completes the pass, and he takes the lead from Intimidator, but he gets loose in the very next corner and gives it up. Nick Don Francesco in the 6 is going to go a lap down. He gets out of the way for these 2, and they're going to have a classic battle for the win here at Mid Ohio. Coming around now, 4 laps to go at Mid Ohio. Still, it sounds like nothing, but that's an eternity at a road course. It's basically another 40 turns, give or take. 40 times you can screw it up here. And to the inside, Jesse Carlson goes. Like I said, I think he's got the faster car. And he holds it, he makes it stick. He didn't slide into him at all. Clean pass, new leader. Going down the second straightaway now. Jesse Carlson's got the lead. You know Intimidator's going to take a look and try it, or is he? Wasn't quite close enough to do it. They both hold on to it through there. Flash is still in third. Matt Smith is in fourth. Jordan Dorasek rounds out the top five. Lance Shark is in sixth. Harold Burton went off course just a little bit there. A couple of cars were able to get around him for a position, including Alex Tesdall in the 16, Kevin Tattersall in the 54. Run it down to the M-Race reporter, Kevin Tattersall. Kevin, what position are you in right there?
12th place.
Okay. Just trying to get a rough idea on where everybody is running here. Slowly but surely working your way towards the front. He's just in front of him. Alex Tesdall runs in 11th, and Trey Hollywood in the 44 up in the 10th position. Fly's kid having a great run. And the battle for the lead is still on, folks. 3 laps to go. And Intimidator was able to use the inside line in the same corner over there, turn 2, to take the lead back from the kid, Jesse Carlson.
Nobody out back. Clear all around.
These two seem so evenly matched, folks. When Jesse Carlson takes the lead, he holds on to it for a bit, and then Intimidator answers right back, and vice versa. Who's going to time it out and be the leader at the right time near the end of this race? They're going through the last couple of turns here, and when they come up to the line, it'll be 2 laps to go. Sport Course 170. Round 15 of the 2021 NASCAR Motormaster Series season, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5, live broadcast on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Oh, and a couple of bad corners in a row there for Jesse Carlson, and now the Intimidator has opened his lead up by about 3-4 car lengths, but still 2 laps to go for Jesse to make that up, and if anybody can do it, it's Jesse Carlson. And Jordan Dorasek is parked off the racetrack and motionless. Evidently his race is done, and he was up there running in the 5th position. I didn't see what happened to him, but he's off and parked in his pit stall there. He's done for the race. Clash is running in 3rd. Matt Smith all over the back bumper for that 3rd position.
Nobody out back. All clear, no pressure from behind. 2 at the line.
Well, he's running out of time. Jesse Carlson has made his way all the way back to the bumper, the back bumper of the Intimidator in the 9. He's running out of time. Does he have enough time? Does he have enough car left and tire left to make a move and get the lead back from the Intimidator? We'll find out. The white flag is in the air. Through turn 1, the Intimidator tried to lift extra there to hold the inside line and stop Jesse Carlson from getting a big run, and it kind of worked. Now going into turn 2. Oh, there might have been a little bit of contact made, I'm not sure. And Jesse Carlson escapes turn 2 with the lead here on the final lap. Couple of car lengths of an advantage for him as well, and the Intimidator gets right to the back bumper of Jesse Carlson. There was contact made. He moved the 20 quite a bit. Robert Lohman Sr. in the 4 coming back onto the racetrack after having a bit of a spill over there. And we're watching a battle of the ages here for the win at Mid Ohio. Oh, there might have been more contact made. There was definitely contact made when Jesse Carlson went to exit the corner. The Intimidator was there just a little bit. And coming through the last couple of corners. Thank goodness my voice is not going to hold, folks. And Jesse Carlson trying so hard to hold on contact made again between he and Intimidator. And coming to the line, it's Jesse Carlson winning the Sport Course 170. Intimidator is going to cross the line in second in that number 9 Chevy Camaro. What a run by one of the best in the world here on these NASCAR Heat games. Was one of the favorites to win this race, and he nearly did just that. And the end of it all, though, somehow, some way, Jesse Carlson, the kid, picks up his second NOSCAR Motormaster Series win of the season, and again on a road course. He won at Sonoma, and he wins here at Mid Ohio for Juicy J Motorsports, and he's freaking out right now, folks. He knows what this means, and he knows that not many people can stay with the likes of Intimidator, much less go out there and capture the win against Intimidator. What has Jesse accomplished here tonight, Kevin?
I mean, that's crazy. You spoke about it a lot throughout the race. Intimidator is no joke. He's one of the best, if not the best, road course guy in the NASCAR Heat 5 community. So being able to say that you beat him, that's a huge thing there for Jesse Carlson.
Is it ever? I've raced Intimidator on many of the different road courses on these NASCAR Heat games. You're right, he is no joke at all. He's arguably the very best on road courses on these games. He's that good, and I can't believe what we witnessed, and I can't believe that this kid Jesse Carlson has went out there and conquered a master of the game like the Intimidator. You got pictures of the results, Kevin?
Getting them right now.
Excellent. What a race, what a finish. 2 amazing finishes and battles all the way down to the very end. Here tonight we saw a 4-car drag race for the win in Michigan, where fuel strategy was involved. We saw a heck of a battle here between veteran and rookie.
Did you want me to invite Jesse or anything?
Yes, please.
Do you want me to invite Vin Tim also?
Yes, please. And Flash 9 if you got him.
Roger that. Yeah, I got all 3 of them.
Thanks so much. That was an amazing race. I can't believe what we just witnessed.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it really was no joke for road courses to be able to come down, especially with no cautions, right? So we didn't have a caution at the end that regrouped the pack to be able to allow that close finish that you just had. That was just, I mean, that was these drivers just doing a great job, and hats off to Jesse Carlson, as well as Intimidator. I mean, that's crazy that they were able to stay that close and have that hard fought of a finish there. So congrats to those guys.
Yeah, very impressive race by those drivers, and it could have been any one of those 2 drivers win, really. They both had a terrific car. They both have terrific talent here on these road courses, especially the road courses, all tracks really, though. But at the end of it, it was Jesse Carlson. He also ran the quickest lap time of the race, just about 0.2 of a second quicker than the Intimidator, and that is impressive. Like I said, I'm still in shock. I'm still in disbelief for what we just witnessed. I still am trying to wrap my head around what this means for Jesse Carlson. That is amazing. Joining us in the broadcast booth, the driver who finished in the 3rd position, 2020 NOSCAR Platinum Cup Series champion Matt Smith, driver of the number 10 Chevy Camaro for Bruv Motorsports. It was a wild race out there. You had good track position all race long. It seemed like you were in the top 5 all race, top 7 all race. It seemed like the competition was stiff as well, and you brought it home in the top 3. It's another playoff of your race and your